Hello, everybody. It is me, Pacific. Oh boy, you guys are going to go, oh, please, let's not get into politics. I have to, though. Do you know why? Because every so often I see a headline that catches my attention. I have to comment on Hillary Clinton. There's too much that I have to say. No, this isn't going to be an hour-long video. Hillary Clinton, yesterday's news I read online, compared Putin in Russia to Hitler. I didn't even read the whole article. I thought to myself, really? I'm going to say something very bold. Pacific has had for quite a while now a problem with the Democrat Party. It appears that the Democrat Party is intent on stripping us of our rights. I realize from a Christian perspective that everybody outside of Christ is detrimental to our Constitution and is in rebellion against God. I know all that. I know that the Republicans seem to favor big corporations and big oil, but let me say something. So do the Democrats. If you don't think that the environmentalist people aren't a corporation, you'd better do your homework. Both parties are all about money. And I'm going to say it again and again and again. Neither party has ever done anything to lower gas prices. Ever. They're not going to. That being said, I have a problem with Hillary Clinton. I have never cared for the woman. She compares Putin to Hitler, and I'm not going to get into Putin and what Russia's doing. I think it's interesting that Russia can just go in and attempt to invade. There's been some tough talk. Putin's made some comments to the U.S. that if we put sanctions, there's going to be problems. They will ruin our economy. Not sure how they can do that when Russia's economy is not very good to begin with. Let's talk about Hillary Clinton. For years, many people called her a feminazi. I believe the word Nazi has a lot to do with Hitler. Hillary Clinton has never embodied what I call family values. Hillary Clinton does not embody what I call a unshakable faith in God. It has been rumored that Hillary Clinton has had lesbian liaisons or possible flings. It has been said by very intelligent, smart thinking people who've done their own digging around that Hillary Clinton was directly responsible for Vince Foster's death. If you don't believe me, start doing your research. Suddenly, files were missing in one of the White House rooms, and look at the whole Whitewater investigation. Hillary Clinton and her own husband interfered with that at every level. I don't like Hillary Clinton. I believe she has an agenda that is right in tune with the United Nations. Hillary Clinton was the first one that tried to bring in a health care bill. Fortunately, there was enough thinking people that shut it down before it even got off the ground. This time, Barack Obama gets in and just bowls everybody over. Let me say something about Barack Obama, people, because I know you don't want to hear politics, but you young people need to listen up. If we lay down and expose our bellies and say, well, you know, they're all evil. Yes, they are. Let me tell you what's happening. There are businesses closing in the United States right now. Lots of small businesses. There are major businesses that have finally said, we're not going to hire anybody full time. Their reason? We cannot afford to insure our employees. Home Depot, Walgreens, others. There are businesses that you and I go to, an all-you-can-eat buffet that's been in existence for years, being forced to give their employees health insurance. The cost is so high, that they said it would cut so deeply into their profits that they'd have to raise the prices and the customers won't come. Businesses shutting down. Hillary Clinton gets behind a man like this. Barack Obama has not created one job for the American person. His Obamacare, his signature health care bill, has been a direct result of companies shutting down, adding to more unemployment, companies cutting hours, causing the average American underbelly worker to earn less money. Is anybody pulling their head out of their butt in Washington? I don't think so. I get annoyed. I try to focus on Jesus Christ. I try to focus on those things that matter. But we've got a bunch of bowls in a china shop right now, literally wrecking the china on all the shelves. And most young Americans, they say, well, I don't care about politics. You'd better. These are just the facts that I'm stating. You can say, and even some of my viewers say, why are you attacking Obama? He's the best president. Where are you getting this from? Look at the facts. Obama ran on his platform, his campaign. Look at the Bush mess. Look at the mess Bush got us in. Look at the mess Obama has got us in. Look at the massive mounting debt that he and his Democrat Party have been constantly voting to approve of more debt just to keep the government going. That's all Bush's fault? He has not caused the debt to go down at all. He has not offered one job to the American people. He has rammed through and bullied on the American people a healthcare reform act that favors the already sit-on-your-butt mentality welfare people that are going like this to most American hardworking citizens. And let me quote about those wonderful welfare people. Getting pregnant, babies having babies, buying pimped-out rides, buying fireworks, buying beer, smoking pot, and they're all sitting in Section 8 welfare and government-funded housing. And the highest crime? Right there. Isn't welfare great? Aren't the people that sit and vote for Obama some of the greatest, wonderful, contributing, productive people in American society? I think no. Somebody might say, Pacific, you're not very nice. Some people lose their jobs. I understand that. Pacific has lived right next door to welfare housing. And I'll tell you what, I have been woken out of a deep sleep, I can't tell you how many times, by these wonderful, quality people that all vote Democrat. Noise and bass cannon in the car, the I'm like, shit, I can't even afford that. I can't even afford that stuff. Some of them have nice rides. They let their girlfriends come and sleep over, smoke a bowl, all on the government's dime. As an incidental, this wonderful pot-smoking state of Colorado that I live in, people are telling me that more people are moving to Colorado simply because of their lax pot laws. So now we're going to see people moving to Colorado just so they can smoke pot. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? But I got way off on a rabbit trail because this is all connected. Have you ever heard Hillary Clinton say one bad word about Obama? Nope. Hillary Clinton is evil. Hillary Clinton, all one needs to do is look at her face. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to attack her looks, because that wouldn't be right. But I want you to look at the etched tension in her face. Her face is not a poster child of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control, the fruits of the Spirit. Hillary Clinton wears the pants. Trust me. I don't want her as a leader. Many people say she's going to run for president. Folks, I'm telling you, this is serious stuff. If you think that Hillary Clinton's going to be a good leader, and no, people are going to tell me, are you against a woman being president? I am, from a Christian perspective. I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over men. That's what Paul says. I realize that non-Christians are not bound by the rules of Scripture, and yet they are. They really are, because God says, yeah, you can reject me, but when you violate my commands, you will be held accountable. I'm going to say it again. I've heard a lot of talk about rich Republicans and oil Republicans, and nobody, not one person, is saying how much Barack Obama's bottom line is, or Hillary Clinton, or any of the Democrats that are making good money that will not be fined because of Obamacare, that don't have to scramble to get health insurance, that don't have to worry about being cut from 40 hours to 25 hours a week, that don't have to worry about losing their job at some place that folded up because they can't afford health insurance for their employees. How is this stimulating the economy? And then Hillary Clinton wants to talk tough about Putin. Give me a collective break. Hillary Clinton, to me, is as close to Hitler as you're going to get. That woman does not like people like me. Let me make that crystal clear. Hillary Clinton is very feminist, very feminazi. I believe Rush Limbaugh used that term about her years ago. People may say, my viewers may say, well, what difference does this make? It makes a huge difference. Look at the money that all these politicians make. Look at the laws that they're enacting and ask yourself the question, how many of these laws are rammed through without thinking? Or maybe they are and don't care. And that's what I'm beginning to see more and more. Obamacare doesn't care about people like me. March is going to come and go. I am not going to be forced by Obama to buy health insurance. And I think it should be a criminal act that he, on a federal level, can fine people for not having health insurance. It is not easy in this country to define this issue. Should we deny somebody health coverage because they don't have it? I guess the old saying goes that we're going to have to look to God to provide for our needs, and we're going to have to look to God to judge all these HMOs, pharmacy divisions, and all the cost, the inflated cost of healthcare to begin with. What did people in America do 100 years ago before they had HMOs? What did people do 100 years ago before there was Social Security and retirement and para and pension and all that? What did we do? We lived. People got sick and people died. Do we have a right to health care? There was a woman that had spent all her money trying to get healed of an issue of blood, and she thought to herself, if I just touched the hem of Jesus' garment, my troubles would be over. Remember? Jesus turned around and said, who touched me? That'd be like me being in Hong Kong in the marketplace and surrounded and being bumped into by how many Asians. Who touched me? And people go, you feeling okay, dude? Jesus did that for a reason. He called her out. It was I. She had faith. There's an argument today in theological circles about how much we're supposed to throw ourselves on the mercy and benevolence of a good God and how much we're supposed to do ourselves. How much are we supposed to trust God? How much are we supposed to not be presumptuous? When your cost for health insurance exceeds that of rent, or interferes with your ability to buy rent and food, I'd have to say, well, gee, I think we're going to have to trust God on our health. If the doctors want to tell me we can't see you, you can't afford it, okay, then let God take care of Pacific. It's not an easy issue to address. What does this have to do with Hillary Clinton? She hasn't said one word about Obamacare negatively. I'm going to say something very bold. All people outside Jesus Christ are headed for hell, whether they're Democrat or Republican. But there are some people that rise head and shoulders above the rest that clearly have an agenda that's not very hidden. There's so much shadiness resulting in surrounding the death of Vince Foster, and Vince Foster and Hillary were very close. And I still believe, personally, that she had something to do with his death. How dare she call somebody like Hitler? Her, as a leader and a politician, should be ashamed of herself. Having somebody murdered because he was getting close to exposing this woman? I trust Hillary Clinton as far as I can throw. She's a poor example of a lady. She is not a lady. Not even close. There's nothing feminine about her. She is evil. To call somebody and compare them to Hitler is laughable. She herself has some leanings that are very Hitlerian. Trust me. When a political leader on tax dollars can go to China and stand up for women's rights, what is the U.S. doing meddling in somebody else's affairs? We've got big problems at home, have had big problems at home, and these politicians globetrot and go over and tell everybody else how it's supposed to be done. I don't ever see Hillary Clinton championing men's rights and the way men are bashed in the media, and rest assured she's bashed her own husband over and over. I realize that Bill Clinton has his own issues. I don't want that representing me. She is not pro-family. She is not pro-God. That is enough for me. Calling Putin Hitler is laughable. I'm not even going to touch Putin right now. But she and Obama and a long list of Democrats, they're not standing up and telling the truth about what we just see on a logical, superficial level. There has been no accurate numbers released to date about the number of people who have enrolled in Obamacare. It has been said that the liberals are constantly inflating that and touting it as good, and it's smoke and mirrors. I am surrounded by people at work that all voted for this guy that are refusing to get health insurance because they can't afford it. They're not signing up for Obamacare. I personally am not going to sign up for it just because I can't get behind them. I would feel hypocritical to jump in and take advantage of that because I don't believe it's going to benefit me anyway. Somebody told me it's going to be $300 or $400 a month. That is ridiculous. That is Hitlerian. That is a form of imposed tyranny that is not right. Especially when the man and the leaders like Hillary Clinton and Obama and others are very rich, very wealthy. It's easy to slam something down on the bulk of American people without any thought or care or compassion. That alone is enough for me to say, I will never vote Democrat. They are evil, and they have an agenda. And let me tell you, every one of those Democrat leaders are just as rich as any Republican. Do your homework, people. Stop believing that lie about rich Republicans. The Democrats are equally as rich. The Democrats operate like bullies with the unions. Unions, they scream and yell like a bunch of babies when they don't get their way. And in the old days, they used to set cars and houses on fire and kill people that cross picket lines. These are people that vote Democrat. Did anybody pay attention to what happened in Wisconsin a couple years ago? When the Republican governor said that we are all going to take financial cuts in order to save the state's economy, what do the teachers teaching our nation's youth in Wisconsin do? They rallied and screamed and yelled and did a sit out and went on strike and pooped and defecated on the courthouse or the state capitol lawn, left their bagged lunches all over the place and made a mess. These are people teaching our kids. These are people that voted Democrat. These are the beautiful people, as Rush Limbaugh would say. You see, the evening news doesn't report this stuff, but there's articles all over the internet and there's news you can access. It's not just Fox News. It will tell you what happened. What does this all have to do with Hillary? Every time she opens her mouth, it just makes me more angry at the hypocrisy of the whole Democrat Party. Let's take the environmentalist whack jobs that are out there promoting the Toyota Prius and granola bars and not shaving your armpits, and the Sierra Club people. They all drive SUVs. They're all living their best life now, and their carbon footprint is way bigger than Pacific's. You see, one of the things that I'm trying to get my viewers to do is to dig deeper and to look at this stuff. The hypocrisy of 99.9% of Americans is laughable. I have to laugh at the people that go speeding around my school bus, but they use their turn signal. Really. You're going to follow the law in this one regard, but not this other. And that is the way most Americans are. They pick and choose what they want to do, and then at the end of the day, I'm pretty good. I was going 100 miles an hour in a 50 zone, and I let somebody in. I'm good. No, you violated the law. Let me use a lead-in here. Because our society is so messed up, they don't realize this one foundational point that has been laid down in eternity. Most Americans go through the day with no thought about what they're thinking up here, with no thought about how they're driving their car, with no thought about the crap that they're believing on television. I heard a woman in the break room the other day say to a friend of mine at work, "Where did you get that from? Did you hear that on TV?" She said, "No, I experienced it." "Oh, but you didn't hear it on TV?" And I looked at her and I said, "Are you telling me that what you hear on TV is truth?" She didn't respond to me. The answer was, yes, I do. You see, our country is guilty of the same thing the Germans were in World War II. Whatever Hitler said, whatever the textbook said, whatever the media of the day said, well, must be true, golly gee. You think I'm kidding? I already did a video talking about our secular universities and colleges. Did you know our secular universities and colleges consider Hillary Clinton a darling child for women's rights and being a woman and on and on? Are you really getting an education? No, not at all. You're getting brainwashed and indoctrinated into a very, very demonic movement that has infiltrated this country so deeply. I don't care if people laugh at me. I don't care if feminist man-hating women that are playing lesbian with each other all day hate my guts. I speak truth. But when I look at the people who get behind Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama just in our break room, let me tell you my observations. They are backbiters. They are mean. They are joyless. Most of them are obese and overweight. And most of them start trouble every time. I look at the people who get behind that party, and I have heard enough about the evil of Republicans. I'm not defending the Republican Party. I've said that over and over again. The hypocrisy of the Democrat Party of the United States of America is appalling. The media is controlled by the Democrats. The secular universities and colleges are controlled by the Democrats. Even Christian colleges have capitulated to getting accreditation, and to be accredited, you have to teach the same crap they're teaching. So much for come out from them, my people, and be separate, says the Lord. So much for that. The Christian church is always the little chihuahua running behind the giant mastiff going, oh, accept me, accept me, accept me, accept me. And the dog's going to turn around one day and go, and eat it as a snack. We'd better look at politics. I don't like politics either, folks, but you better look at what our leaders are doing. You know, it's easy to be in a mouse in America, and all the mice do their little thing in their little mouse hole, but one day all those leaders are going to be setting traps all around, and we're going to walk out and get snapped. And it's happening right now. People say, I don't believe in politics, I don't want to talk about politics. Keep sticking your head in the sand. Hitler loved those kind of people. And the Democrats really like those kind of people. Give us bread in the circuses. Okay. Here's some more porn. Drown in your lust. Here, have some beer. Here, smoke your pot. Yes, the government likes that. America is in greater danger than any country in the world of a complete shredding of the Constitution, a complete takeover by another country or a dictator, because Americans are so individualistic and so self-centered, and they can't be united anymore. And most Americans have literally put their head in the sand about what the Democrat Party is doing. Most Americans, millions of Americans, turn into ABC, NBC, and CBS, which is nothing more than Hitlerian, communistic, socialistic, feministic, humanistic, evolutionistic, demonic television. That any American could even sit there and watch the nightly news out of those networks is telling about the direction this country is rapidly heading. The Antichrist is not going to have much trouble gaining control of America. It's already happening now. People are already giving themselves over to the lies of Satan. What does the Bible say about the devil? He's the father of lies. He's a liar and the father of it. Think about that. All false religious belief systems. All from the pit of hell. You think I'm kidding? Check it out. Hillary Clinton is a hypocrite. Hillary Clinton is not what I would call a good woman. No one is a good man or woman. The Bible makes it clear all have sinned, all fall short of the glory of God. There is none righteous, no, not one. All our righteousness is as filthy rags. Most Americans go through life thinking they're pretty good because they go to their job every day, they make money, they take care of their family. In one day, every American will sin so many times and they don't even care. Breaking traffic laws is a sin. Why? The Bible says submit to the governing authorities. Why do I bring this up? Because most Americans live their life thinking it doesn't matter what I do. And every day they're piling their sins as high as heaven. And because they reject Jesus Christ, God's going to say, so, you rejected my son, so you think you can get into heaven because you don't need my son. Well, let's see if you've kept my commandments. Boom, 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 boom. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Depart from me, I never knew you. America is so caught up in the temporal, it's disgusting. America is so caught up in the here and now that they're not looking at the hereafter. And people just ignore half of what they hear. They don't even question the comment that I just saw last night. Hillary compares Putin to Hitler. You stand up and compare any of the Democrats to Hitler, and there's an outcry from Capitol Hill, and I hear the sound of rattles and binkies hitting the floor, and people messing their diapers, bunch of babies. And yet they can say that so-and-so's Hitler, and they've even said that the religious right are extremists. I have to laugh. Hillary Clinton is evil. She is following her master, the devil. So is Barack Obama. He can be as confident and arrogant as he wants, but they show the fruit of Satan and allegiance to him. When are we going to wake up? while they're buffaloing their own Hitlerian agenda right in the doors in the front rooms of Americans every single day. That's fine if you don't want to vote. That's fine if you want to just do whatever you want. But don't start complaining one day when the rights you're now depending on are sucked right out of your life. You have no right to complain. Christians should vote. Christians should get involved, not to bring a Christian utopia, but to arrest and be a barrier against the floodgates of evil. The reason we're called salt, salt is to preserve meat and to keep it from decaying. We'd better do our responsible civic duty. No, we're not going to usher in the presence of Jesus. Too many Christians have tried to be kingdom now people and say we got to focus on the family, robbed people of millions of dollars to push for legislation, and all that money was wasted. I don't support focus on the family for that. Money should be used for the promoting of the gospel and reaching the lost, not for legislation. We need to vote in leaders that stand up for the commands of God. Bottom line. I realize most don't, but that's why it gets down to voting in people that are against abortion, against gay marriage. I know that we're not going to bring in a perfect government. Somebody said that Pacific, you shouldn't talk about these issues. Yes, I should. If you're not careful, the day may very well come when you hear something on the evening news and go, what? How did that happen? Because a bunch of good people didn't do anything. I'm going to cut this video short. I'm so tired of hearing Hillary Clinton open her mouth. She needs to get a real job and she needs to go away. She has an agenda that is birthed out of the fires of hell. And I'm going to be so bold as to say that anybody outside of Jesus Christ that is not being led by the Spirit of God, all they're doing is adding collateral damage to this country, Republican or Democrat. But I will say it again. It seems to me that the Democrats in the United States of America lean a lot closer to Satan than they do towards God. It sure seems to be quite obvious. Pacific is weighed in, and if I offend anybody, I don't care. I'm offended, and they don't care at all. Why should I care if their feelings are hurt because of some of the things I've said? I will say them to their face. I will say them on YouTube. The Democratic Party is under the control of the father of lies. Look at the fruit they're producing. Go to my break room and look at the overweight black women that are backbiters and troublemakers and mean and nasty who voted for Obama and Hillary and others and supports these people. Need I say any more? This is Pacific signing off. Bye-bye.